day, everyone. Today I'm going to discuss answering comprehension questions, the connection of synonyms to it, and the part of speech as well. Basically, in English, our teachers give us different springboards. And what are these? These are the stories, the novels, can be the text, or news, or just a passage. It can even be a poem, a dialogue, or even a song. Now, why is it that we can find these springboards in our books? Since grade 1, we can see this all. The purpose of these springboards is for us to learn different vocabularies, the new words that we need to learn from that springboard. What else? We can also learn the grammar part of the lesson using that springboard. The other one, we can get ideas from that springboard to do a certain thing in the writing part of the lesson. So basically, that's the main purpose of it. So now you know what springboards is in teaching. Okay. Now, in the story that I gave you, actually the passage, it is about the age of the tortoise, right? And after that story, after that passage was given to you, there are questions stated after it. And these questions are comprehension questions. Now, why are we asked of these questions? This is for us teachers to know whether you understood or not what you heard or what you read. That's the purpose of comprehension questions. And we need the proof that you really understood. Now, for you to prove us that you understood what you read, I'll give you different techniques. First, change as many words as possible into your own words. That's the very first thing that you can do. But the problem is if you don't have your own words to replace the words from the text. So it's a problem, right? But there is a solution to it. We have the synonyms. And we all know that we studied synonyms since grade 1, even pre-11. We studied synonyms. Maybe we just didn't realize that we kept on studying synonyms. And if you will just try to scan your books from the first part even to the last part, from time to time you will see exercises about synonyms. And this thing has a very important purpose. And that is for us to have words to replace the words from the text. Something like, if you just know the word big, and you kept on using the word big, 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 it will be a boring thing, right? So if you know that the word vast means also big. The word colossal means also big. The word huge, gigantic, spacious, massive, large, mammoth. See? All these words mean big. If you have so many words to replace the word big, then your teacher will be happy. And I will think that, this student understood the story because he or she can replace a certain word from the text. Now, I have here the list of synonyms that I got from the story, from the passage that we have. First, we have the word imperturbable. What's the word? Imperturbable. Now, I listed here 2 examples of synonyms of imperturbable. The first one is unshakable and the other one is unflappable. These 2, if I want to change the word imperturbable in a sentence, I can use the word unshakable, I can use the word unflappable, and the meaning is still the same. Right? That's the use of synonym. The other one, another word from the passage is confronted. If I don't want to make use of the word confronted, I'll be using faced and I'll be using dared, and the meaning is still the same. See, the synonym, the purpose of synonym is there. to replace so that I can have something in exchange for the word confronted. Next is leisurely. So, other words which means the same as leisurely is deliberately or slowly. If I don't want to use the word leisurely, I want to change it so that when I write a certain sentence to the question, I don't want to make use of leisurely, I can use deliberately. I can use slowly, and the meaning is still the same. So, when I answer the questions using these words, my teacher can think that, oh, I really understood. She's using the synonym. The other one is consequence. If I don't want to make use anymore of the word consequence, I can use result. I can also use effect. I can also use outcome or product. And still, the meaning is the same. Now you can see the good thing in using synonyms. You can prove in your tests or in your answers that you understood the passage because you can change. You are using now your own words. You are using your synonyms. So it's better that we have so many synonyms on our notebooks because these really are a big help, especially when we are writing, when we are answering. This really is very helpful. That's the purpose of it. Now, let's go back to this part and see. By looking at the first word, when we talk about synonyms, we don't stick to only one part of speech. It doesn't mean that we are looking for synonyms. We are only looking for adjectives. Because the first one, just by looking at the last part of the word, we automatically know that these are adjectives. These are words that describe. The next group, let us look at the end part of this. Just by looking at this, we automatically know, because we are familiar of the different parts of speech, we know that these are verbs. Okay? Now, look at the third group. Look at the last part. Just by looking at the LYs, we all know that these are adverbs. And the last one, because of this consequence, we know that this is a noun. It so happened that our synonyms here do not end in the same ending. And it really happens, right? Now, as you can see, when we talk about synonyms, we do not only talk about adjectives. We can find synonyms of adjectives. We can also find synonyms for verbs. We can also find synonyms for adverbs. And we can also find synonyms for noun. So, the lesson here also is that when the word given to you is an adjective, make it a point that the synonym that you write is in the form of adjective. When the word given to you is a verb, make sure that the synonym that you give is also a verb. Because maybe we'll be getting confused when looking for the words in the dictionary or whatsoever. And then when you, say for example, this one, this is an adverb. Then, all the synonyms must be also adverb. So that we are parallel. Okay? Now, let's go back to this part of what we are talking about. We finished the synonyms, we finished the part of speech, the use of this only to this part. Say for example now, we cannot change the word in the passage. We cannot do anything about the words. So another way for us to prove that we understood the passage is to change the order of the words where it is not possible to use different ones, because there will really be a case, something like that. So the only way that you can do is paraphrase, rephrase. Now, here's the technique. when you try to make it a point that you are paraphrasing, make sure that the one that you make is shorter, not longer than the previous phrase that you had. Make it concise. Make it shorter. When we say concise, it is shorter than the previous one, but the meaning is still there. Get it? Okay. So we're finished on this first technique. We're finished on the second technique. Now we go to the third one. Another one to prove ourselves in terms of the test and in writing is to answer in full sentences. So, we can start our sentence by, say for example, writing, the writer felt frightened just by looking at the big dome-shaped rock. It can be like that. Or, we can say, this happens because of the ignorance of people in terms of the safety of turtles. It can be something like that. And then, the one thing that you should also remember is, don't forget to write this quotation mark. Okay? Now, there will be instances that your knowledge or your understanding of the passage will be tested by asking you to quote some words from the passage. So since you are asked to quote some words from the passage, your answers will automatically be phrases. Now, to make sure that your answer is a quote from the passage, don't forget to write inverted commas. Because in that way, we are trying to give the message to the one checking our work that what we wrote are quoted from the passage. Okay? Do you understand the technique? So these are all, and I hope you learn from this. Goodbye.